What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another Etheria restart video. Just wrapped up day 5, ended at 37, and we did get a lot of hell mode progress. Just to catch you guys up, today's video will be covering, of course, DokiDoki, Hell 4, full clear, full free to play team, very consistent, and I'll go over some different things and explain exactly how the team works. But I do want to mention real quick, guys, that Terramaton, unfortunately, did have some changes between beta and now. So my old previous guide with Terramaton, with the free-to-play team with Leanne and Marvel, unfortunately does not work as well. And I think for it to work in Hell 4, it's not even worth investing into, because you need Leanne like with dupes and like plus, you need like 12 lattices into her to make it work, and it's still not even that great. So we're gonna have to make some adjustments, unfortunately, and maybe use some Apex characters. But we'll save that for tomorrow. I'll talk about this in depth on how to the new options to clear this. But just understand, guys, unfortunately, it is not as free-to-play friendly for Hell 4 right now. There was some changes made from Etheria in the current live state of the game previous to beta. But we're going to talk about DokiDoki, and also, guys, we do have the Nico Nana Nightmare clear on full grind. And I don't think you guys need a video on this, but if you do, just let me know. And this is a great, another stopping point. This is one I kept mentioning, but all of these shells are very good. Alicorn is probably the least useful in my opinion right now. It's going to be good for PvP later, but right now I think White Fang for your DPS is insane. And actually, I was kind of sleeping on Artisan a little bit, and I'm going to show you that I'm using it right now on my Valyrian. Additionally, Gigabyte is also just a very nice utility speed one in between Black Flag until we get to the Jackal Guard, which is overall probably like the best speed utility shell in the game. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start talking about DokiDoki Hell 4 clear. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, jumping straight into the DokiDoki Hell 4 full free-to-play team. We have Real Mocha, Freya, Gray, Valyrian, and Kazio. And take note of the speed tuning I have here, guys. We have Freya leading us off here, applying that attack up, turn manipulation. You guys know what Freya does. Very strong unit. Gray up next here. S2 for the crit buff. S3 lands the defense break. And then we want Kazio to go right before our carry, which is Real Mocha, because we, one, remove the defense mechanic, and then additionally, when you sleep a unit, you have additional damage. I think it's around 25% bonus damage. Unfortunately, my Real Mocha is not strong enough to pop that unit, but once I do, this run will be even faster, much faster. But right now, at least on day 1, I'm very happy with it, and you guys will see why. So far, the run's looking pretty good. And Real Mocha's damage is going to kind of show why it's so good a little bit here. Like I said, if you're not sure how Real Mocha's kit exactly works, you need to pop the enemy with your S3, the rockets, on that initial hit. There's like multi-hits. If you kill it on the first hit, you do some insane splash damage, which we'll probably see here. Additionally, when Real Mocha gets killed, she resets her skill. So we're already back into skill 3, and you guys see that? She pops that first unit, and the second one dies instantly, even though it was still pretty healthy. Now, the nice thing with the speed tuning as well, if you guys copy my stats, we lead straight into the round 2 with Kazio landing that skill 3. This is going to help a lot because a lot of times you take a ton of damage. Now, we do have Valyrian as a safety net. The way her kit works is she'll save some units from dying. Long story short, she also has some invincibility, and she has some big barriers with the shells, which we'll talk as we finish this run. I'll show you all the stats for all the units. But it's more the same. The entire team dies with Gray and Real Mocha here, and that's pretty much all she wrote. We're going to wrap things up. Very basic, very free to play, very accessible. So those of you guys that have these units, this is why I want y'all to pick Real Mocha with your targeted selector if you haven't picked yet, just to make our Doki farm easier, because she's the best here. She's the easiest with the lowest stat requirements. There are some other units that can do it, of course, like Messiah, Shiata maybe, and things like Tiamat. But I think Real Mocha will make it, it'll just make your guys' life so much easier. So let's go ahead and talk about the gear and the shells now. All right, let me show you guys the stats, the gears, the shells, the prowesses, all the skill ups and everything. And in case you guys can't reach these stats, don't worry. If you guys have a chance to stop by either the YouTube or Twitch, check the VODs of the same day as you guys watch this video, because I did clear Hell 1, Hell 2, Hell 3 very easily. And then Hell 4, it took a little bit of tweaking. But the reason I want y'all to check that out, if you can't reach some of these stats that you're going to be looking at on my units, is that this is what I upped the stats, optimized a few things here and there to make the run fully consistent. So that way when I make the video for you guys, the clear is like no chance of failure. There was a run where on stream that I did with way less gear, But of course, that's going to be a lot of RNG. There will be some fails in those attempts. But just in case you guys want to see the gear with less stats, you can go and check out those VODs. But here's the modules. Here's the stats. And we have crit rate, which we need to upgrade. This is only an epic piece of gear. But I'll talk about the crit rate. Just take note of this here in a second. It's not super important to have more crit, at least for real mocha on my setup. We have crit damage and then attack. I like an attack crit damage setup, at least when we're running with Gray, with the 30% free crit he gives. And then here's the left side gear. We'll go over that for you guys real quickly. And then in terms of the set bonuses, I don't think it's really worth fishing for some specific sets, guys. In general right now, for real mocha at least, just go for what you have. Usually that will be the onslaught gear. The game gives you a lot of free. And then we just picked up, an extra harvest set for an additional attack, 10% attack there. But the reason we want to go the crit is not really important on the right side piece, like I was saying here, is because if you look at our crit chance, we're at 10 plus 47, 57. We add Gray's 30% in, that brings us up to an 87. And then with the elemental advantage from real mocha versus the Doki blue mobs, we are crit capped. So we're good on that. The shell is the Twilight Knight, which I talked about in previous videos. And the passive effects, we just have some extra damage, right? Makes sense for our extra damage dealer. And then there you will see that Gray has a mythic shell, and I did try swapping them. But for now, while this Twilight Knight is maxed out and the mythic is not, and then I do actually like the defense break for real mocha too, before her big nukes, just in case Gray somehow missed. But let's look at Gray now. And take note of the speed, guys. I talked about the speed tuning in the actual video showcase, but make sure you guys' speed tuning is on point. Here is the gear loadout. We are doing like a half onslaught, half swift rush, because we still want Gray to be speed tuned to go before both real mocha and Kazio. And the right side pieces of gear, we got a crit damage, crit rate, attack bonus, and then here's the left side gear for you guys. And if you're wondering why I don't level some of this gear, it's because I don't deem it worth my coins right now. I'm going to wait till I get some better gear, like mythics, to fully invest into. I don't think we, as you guys can see, obviously, right, we don't need to upgrade every single piece to 15 to clear it. But your mileage may vary. Here's the prowess abilities. We have full S3, and then full skill 2, which I think is very important. It's going to make his cycling absolutely insane. He's going to do an S2, S3. He's going to press skill 1 once, one auto attack with skill 1, and then he's going to go straight back into skill 2, skill 3. It's actually crazy. I don't know if I fully did. I might have cut the, just in case I didn't talk about this, guys, full real mocha skill 3. I might have added it in, and if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. But it is very important to have this damage for the way her kit works. Here we go on Freya. We have, let's see, here's the full stats. There's no prowess upgrades for her, and I'll show you all that, but just a swift rush set with just some random gear. I leveled this for effect accuracy. You guys may not want to because it will be a broken set, but in my opinion, main stats are more important than sets, at least for now. And then we can optimize it and make it perfect later. We have a HP bonus here, and then I have another HP here, just to make sure she doesn't die. Here's the left side gear. Nothing too special. We even have a unique piece still on here. I kind of like the stats on it. And then the prowess, as I said, we don't really have any upgrades. Just remember, you do get free stats here if you guys want. You should utilize these in case your units are dying, but free defense and then free HP, even if we don't go for the lattice ability. Here is the shell. It's a Shanghai Jing. I don't recommend building this necessarily. You guys could. I just had it, and I had a lot of copies when we were farming. And we rolled some decent passes, so I decided to use it. I will probably be changing this out later. A Black Flag, I think, is better. And then Jackal Guard, of course, later. You can even go something like an Electro Squid on Freya, which is like a healing shell. Really, I don't think it's too important. Just have something good for the base stats, and then go for relevant passives if possible. Anything that's, useful. She's such a versatile unit, I don't think it's super important what her shell is. Skip over Marvel, and second to last, we have the Valyrian. Now this one, guys, shout out to my Twitch chat. They got me onto a different build, okay? Previously, this is why I wanted y'all to check the VODs if you think this gear is too much. I have less gear on Valyrian. I cleared all the way up to Hell 4, Hell 1, Hell 2, Hell 3, Hell 4 pretty quickly on stream with way less gear. Just wasn't super consistent at Hell 4. But this new build, I can explain it to you guys. The old set was just, it kind of looked like Freya's, just even less geared up. HP with some random, gear swift rush set. So this set, since we are going to be maxing her skill 3 first, and she starts the game with a Hazy Dream, which is kind of, we're not going to go over her full skill set, but effectively Valyrian protects your team both by providing invincibility, or when a unit goes to 0 health and she's in this deep sleep, she will protect them as well. So we want to make her as slow as possible. She's also going to give barriers to the squad. And then additionally too, we have this artisan pet, which you guys will be farming Nico Nana for. So when you eventually get to it, if you're rocking Valyrian, you can try this out. It's actually pretty nice. The barriers are going to be really fat because of the way it scales with defense. And then we have some defense scaling, shield scaling passives. This one not too important. We just rolled it and I kept it. But to cap things out here, we're going for like an unbreakable set with Bramble just for the massive defense for those extra barriers. But with the way her abilities work, we still want to make sure we have some healthy HP, okay? You need to make sure she has some HP because that will scale as well with her skills. So overall, we're a slower build with way, way higher barrier strength, and I think it is definitely the way to build Valyrian. I think slow Valyrian is very, very nice. So make sure you guys pick up this shell. But you can get away with less. I didn't always have this build when I was first clearing Hell 4. Last but not least, we have the Kazio. Here is the stat line. The modules, we just have Swift Rush, not worrying about anything else. We have effect accuracy, and some HP bonus. Now, unfortunately, in this game, guys, I don't know the exact amount you will need for Hell 4. The boss doesn't exactly have the effect resist stat listed. If you guys know if somehow how we can calculate the optimal effect accuracy for each boss, please let me know in the comments or stop by my stream to tell me. But yeah, I just stacked up 151. You guys can try less if you can't reach that. That's fine. I think you can get away with less, but I mean, obviously the more is better as long as she doesn't die. Just to make sure we land those very, very important crowd control effects. And speaking of crowd control, we did max out the skill 3 to get that consistency of the chances landing, as well as reducing the skill cooldown by 1 turn, which is very, very important. If you guys watch the showcase, we were able to cycle back into that skill 3 for that wave 2, which lined up super nicely and makes the run so consistent. For the shell, we have a black flag. This one is actually very good, and we just swapped this around all of our utility units like Marvel. We can put this on Freya. Right now it's on our Kazio. And for the passives, just anything with survivability on the left side here. The middle, I went for more effect accuracy. You guys can go for speed if you want, and then you could double dip into PvP if you just want like some PvP black flags. Not super important. The speed tuning we want exactly on the Kazio to go after Gray, as I mentioned in the showcase. And then this last one, it's whatever. I wasn't too worried about that. So that's the overall stats, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you have additional questions. And it's been an absolute blast. Thank you, everybody. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.